You're welcome here if you're she, he, we, or they. You're welcome here if you're gay, straight, or working it out. You're welcome here if you're in a relationship, single, divorced, or widowed. You are welcome here if you're inked, pierced, both, or neither.
You're welcome here if you're young.
Or young at heart.
You're welcome here if your neurons like to be typical or like to be spicy. You're welcome here if you're more Christian than Collins and Witch Hazel, or haven't got the whole faith thing yet.
You are welcome here if you're living on a prayer or could use a prayer right now. You are welcome here if you've got it all sorted or if you've got doubts. You are welcome here.
You're here, I'm here, Hilt's here, Toran's here. And my Stormcast Eternal, Lord Vigilant, I think, on a Gristalker, is also here. Yeah, he's drying. Anyway, welcome. Good to see you. Toran, hi Isabel. Good to be with you all. Hey, Amy Ducks. Hey, I love the South Yorkshire, East Midlands. Yeah. So we are here. So let's gather, shall we? Yes. Gather. As moon rises, the sun slips sight. Begins the ritual of this night. For those convinced their path is right. Gathered from north, south, east and west, yet called at another's behest, those treading the path that is left. From near and far come as you are to this place and embrace this space as darker hue embraces you. Of water, spirit, earth and fire, confessing the sins of empire, we come with our wounds and desire. Sensing that we are not alone, drawn to the flame that guides us home, for here, you, me and yet to be. Importance and signs of these times, for the sake of all those maligned, is yet the home of the divine. What's going on? I tried to be clever there and put an announcement, a notice. Did you notice? There was a notice. And I don't know what I've done to it, but maybe it's too long. Maybe it's too long. Let's try this. Let's try this. I thought I told it to scroll. Scroll. Okay, now it's scrolling. Yeah, okay, scroll. Yeah, okay. Oh, I see. No, I know what I've done. Sorry. I'm letting you to all the behind-the-scenes magic there of me being completely incompetent. Anywho, that's what I tried to do. No, now what's going on? That one, yeah. If you can't read it, it says Metal Methodist, 17th of May at Paradise Square, 7 p.m. That's in Sheffield. I forgot that bit. It's in Sheffield. Yeah, so we're going to gather more about that later in the notices. So thank you for being you. Thank you for being here. And I wonder what has lifted your soul, your spirits, made your soul sing, help you feel hopeful, stuff that you might be thankful for this day, please do let us know in a comment as we kind of encourage each other after the week that was. For some of us, it's still going on, right? So yeah, how are you? Yeah, let's share the good stuff first, and we'll come to the stuff later on. So what are you thankful for?
Hear the crowd as we roar. See the eagle it soars. Wind and rain refresh once more. From fear, hope redefined. We will not be denied. For are we yet alive? The threefold name and rekindle the flame. Faith, hope and love they remain. The song shall stay the same. Like it's all gone too, shall we be downcast too? Or stand shield to shield, together in the field? We refuse to yield. Steadfastly holding the line, for love wins in eternity's time. We keep pressing forward until the last, and our crash shall be forever true center.
So thank you. Comes to Truth and Tax. Hi, John. Nick. What? Anyway. So I was talking about Paradise Square. Take down to Paradise Square where Wesley preached, and there's now some fountains there. Ooh, won't you please take me to Sheffield City Centre tomorrow at 7:00? So we are going to gather tomorrow. The reason for doing it at 7:00 and the reason for doing it at Orchard Square is because of the for anybody who wants to go to the Iron Maiden cover band tribute band. Sorry. It's a tribute. I was trying to imagine that. And so, wait on. So, just a minute. Sorry. I'm having one of those moments. Excuse me. Yes, 7:00 tomorrow. We are gathering so that anybody wants to can go to the A Up Maiden gig at the Yorkshireman afterwards. One of Sheffield's rock club bar places. So doing it in Paradise Square because that's where John Wesley preached. He of metal hair, and so there's a blue plaque. So I shall be sharing some extracts from the Journal of Mr. Wesley, and then we'll see what happens. If no one's throwing stones at us, maybe we'll kind of share some stuff. But I'm going to stream it, so if it all goes wrong, you get to watch it going wrong live. And if any been the fountains, full immersion, then we'll do with the logical outworking of that later on. Anyway, so if you are around, please do feel free to pop along, say hi. I suspect we won't be there for that long, and if you're not able to be there, that's cool. So we try and gather on the third Saturday of the month, and at various times so people can get there if daytime's better sometimes or evening. So in June, we'll be doing that again, and that's going to be at St. Paul's in Johnfield. But we are so Cheese and Tax, thankful for the opportunity to the offer of using a space in the city centre for kind of afternoon or the evening gathering, including streaming of that, but a place to be. There's some amazing kind of places nearby. It's near various other art galleries if people want to do that. It's near rock bars and clubs. It's near gaming places if you're into that. It's near HMV. So, all your metal needs catered for and geekery needs catered for in one place. So that's what we're looking to start. But probably not not before July at the earliest. I hope that made absolute sense. So thankfulness, for which we are thankful, but so thankful we say it in Norse because it's more Viking, therefore inherently more metal. From Tara. Oh yeah, no, we do. Yeah. So it was offered. The person who's offered is away for a bit, but I think there's a colleague I can work with theirs to kind of action that. I think a bit of refurbishment still ongoing, so we get to that point. No, sadly, it's not the Iron Maidens because they are fantastic, aren't they? Absolutely brilliant. Sadly, it's A Up Maiden, but yeah, the Iron Maidens. I knew I'd missed there we are. Yeah. Cool. So thankful and giving Cheese and Tax with Torrent. Yeah, now you have a reading habit even when your mood is low. That's cool, man. That's very cool because reading for me is one of those things that I feel so much better when I do it, but it's one of those things that I struggle to do when I'm not perhaps in the place, even though it will be helpful in terms of escaping and imagining worlds where things are possible and the resilience that kind of opens up within us and creativity and possibility, I guess. So as well as for possible venues, I think my Cheese and Tack is for having just accepting a bit more of who I am and doing something I've always wanted to do. And I think last week I said I went for a little practice at Warhammer to learn the ropes, and so inspired, I've finished my Skaven Ratman army, who's everything twice. And now onto my Stormcast Eternals, which I think are the sort of fantasy version of Space Marines, kind of to be slightly easier to paint. You wouldn't think so, looking at the mess I've made, but that's deeply relaxing, and I feel even I'm like just to focus because it's the only time I've realised that there's nothing going on in my brain. It's like that motor thing. It's like absorbing, and so it's almost meditative. So that's had me exploring, tabletop gaming as spirituality, I guess. And there's some interesting videos out there on YouTube about. I can't remember the guy's name. I think he's from New Zealand, but he was doing a whole thing about painting and miniatures and how that is a meditative practice, and seeing something from start to finish when you feel you don't have control in other areas of life, and just how it absorbs you. And so anyway, so thankful for that. Thankful you've got reading. That's cool. And with Nick, evening Nick. You made it to the weekend. Yeah. Obviously I'm aware of some stuff in terms of the way affecting various acquaintances, you included my friend and their families. And if there's other stuff as well, just we're glad you've made it. We're glad you're here. And tomorrow was a new day. So I hope you can find some rest and Sabbath moments, by which I mean moments to play Black Sabbath. But I think punk is more your thing. So maybe some Sex Pistols. He said, trying to think of Misfits, trying to think of punk bands very, very quickly. So you see, actually, Nick, you should come on and talk about Pass and Cross Initiative and all the amazing work there. But also, because this isn't just about music and anything, but actually, perhaps now more than ever, the prophetic protesting voice and sort of the impact of punk in some of that as well. would be a good thing to hear about, and to broaden it out from my not always great tasting music, witch hazel, etc. Not included in that statement clearly. Am I having a horse? No, I'm just a bit down. That's why I've got a long face. Hey. Horse walks into a bar. Barman says stables are on the back. So no. And is it an urban myth that he wrote it backwards so he could like put the book on the saddle and read the Bible? I don't know. So I'm not going to try reversing all the way into Sheffield city centre. Yeah. But now you got me thinking. What's that line from Ride the Wind by Poison? On a steel horse I ride. Yeah. We should go on motorbike convoys. I don't have a motorbike either, but I could decorate my bike, my push bike, to look like either a mountain motorbike or a horse, maybe in paper mache. Yeah, that'd be cool. Anyway, hi Rachel, hope you're doing okay. That's cool. D&D helps with mental health. Yeah. I think I know a few people, particularly through a autism support group I've started going to, and they were saying, tabletop gaming, board gaming cafes are just places that feel safe, and places where there are perhaps other neurodiverse people or people kind of courageous and comfortable enough in their own skin to be honest about kind of their mental health challenges or whatever, including D&D, and a chance to perhaps express some stuff by role playing some of it, letting it out in creative ways. And for anybody else interested in any sort of tabletop D&D stuff, and where the intersection might be between faith, spirituality, and those things, I commend Faith and Geekery to you. I kind of another community that uses gaming as a tool for creating community, and I guess similar to in the same way using music, metal, and so there's a huge crossover, I guess, which is brilliant. So, oh, amazing, thank you, sir. Flatfoot 56. I have not heard of these people. Christian Celtic punk band. That sounds immense. Flatfoot 56. Right, thank you. Which we'll get on the Google Foo. No, I've not been to the Treehouse Board Game Cafe. I've recently discovered Board and Bean and Board, in Chesterfield. So where's the Treehouse? Is that in Sheffield? Is that? I think there's another one with the best name ever, Crooked Meeples. What a great name. That's cool. So welcome, one and all. Thank you for sharing the stuff that you are thankful for. So thankful you want to say it in Norse, because it's more Viking, more metal. So thank you for sharing what this day has made Yao say. But maybe too, there is stuff that is heavy, not in a core way, that you want to just acknowledge, express it. Sometimes it's helpful to express those things so they're not just inside us whirling around in some way. Stuff that maybe regrets, maybe stuff you beat yourself up about, maybe situations, just to acknowledge the impact of all of that, I guess, stuff we might want to lay down, an invitation to do that, to share if you feel comfortable to do, respecting the fact it's a public stream. So kind of look after your own confidentiality and that of others. What is it you want to lay down this day? Please do share.
The principalities and will to power.
Nope. And so, with and for Torren, and with and for all of us, and before each other, our siblings in Christ, our blisters and others, and before the divine, we acknowledge those things and we lay them down in these words.
The principalities and will to power. The worms from within my own darkest hour. I confess all the regrets and the regrets, the burdens and fears, the lament and the tears. I lay them down.
And as we do, no matter how far we feel from the divine, universal force of love and hope and justice and peace, or however far that feels from us, I believe that the divine, in the person of Christ, the original long-haired bearded dude from Nazareth, comes running out to meet us, arms open wide, saying, "Come to me." Sorry, that was a bit harsh. "Come to me." Sorry, I didn't mean it like that. I meant like, "Come to me." Come to me, all you who are weary and heavy laden. Even if you don't like Iron Maiden, but why wouldn't you? And I will give you rest, a rest and peace in the way that you need it. And for those who you care about and who care about you, be yours and theirs this night. Amen, which just simply means kind of, yeah, cool, let it be. So let's take a moment. Did you enjoy that, Hild? Yeah, I did. Good. We did too. Until next time, party on, Hild. Party on, James. Let's pretend that didn't happen. Yeah, well, yeah, I think probably my long hair probably has more to do with Brett Michaels' Poison originally than it did with Iron Maiden than it did with Jesus. I do remember once somebody said to me, we did the Good Friday where you carry crosses and we put them out on this walk of witness, and somebody said, "Ooh, so nice to see someone carrying a cross with long hair. It was just like watching Jesus." At which point I had a haircut because you don't want to be looking at me, you want to be looking at Jesus. Yeah. Oh well. But but it won't be for too long because I am growing through it at a rate of knots. That's why I use detangling shampoo. I'm a vicar. I'm not a vicar. I'm a vicar. Anyway, Isabel, I'm thinking of you all. 100 people for last service. Oh, for the funeral, right? Okay. Okay. So we'll be thinking of you tomorrow, and if you're a person who prays, then we just vital to hold Isabel and people in prayer, because it's all that heritage and history, those relationships, those memories, and not just in a human way. I think in those and through those we encounter the divine, and so it is a grief, isn't it? A bereavement, doubly so, given the funeral and everything. But bless you. And now, reading from the Bible, which is metal, the Metal Bible, so metal, it's made of paper. So, I'm just finding the reading. What am I looking? What have I done? I don't know what I've done. What have I done? Have I gone in the wrong bit? No, I have not. Right, let's try again. Yes, okay. Right, okay. So today's reading from the Bible, which is metal, the Metal Bible, so metal, which is made of paper. Get yours at metalbibleinternational.com. I'm just going to change that banner. Have a look at that one. Or maybe we've seen that one next. That one. So Friday the 16th of May. It's from probably Paul's first letter to the church in Corinth. So chapter 9. And it says this, verses 19 to 27. For though I am free with respect to all, I have made myself a slave to all, so that I might win more of them. To Jewish people, I became a Jew. So this is Paul, who was originally Saul, who was a person of Jewish faith, and had an encounter with Jesus, and then so his role prior to that was persecuting people who followed Jesus, like holding cloaks while people were stoned and stuff like that. He has an encounter with Jesus, and then hence changing his name from Saul to Paul as part of a kind of new life, sign, symbol, outward expression. And then he goes around sharing his experience with others as good news about hope in God through Jesus. Okay, I'm just getting a call that. Okay. Okay, that is probably sadly not good news. So I may whiz through some of this. I'm sorry. To those under the law became one as under the law. So the Torah, the Jewish law, and Jesus says, fulfills, it says, above all, love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your strength, and all your mind. Love your neighbour as yourself. And Jesus says, a new commandment I give to you. So not to say those aren't valid, but kind of just to sum them up. The expression of them is to love others as I have loved you, which for Christians is a self-sacrificing, giving love, because that's what Jesus does on the cross, to kind of put right the relationship between humanity, creation, and God. So to those outside the law, I became as one outside the law, but I am not free from God's law. I'm under Christ's law, so that I might win those outside the law. So basically saying I've come to give good news, my experience of Jesus, to people within the Jewish faith, but people outside of the Jewish faith. And I think part of what Jesus was criticised for was his engagement with non-people outside the Jewish faith. In terms of ritual purity and things would have been like a big no-no, and that God's chosen people, the people of Israel, as in the tribe, and so Jesus kind of saying, well, and for the early church, actually, it's not just for the people of Israel, as in the tribe, people descendant from the tribes of Israel, but for all people. So it's about Greeks, it's about people of Jewish faith. This is a message of good news for everybody, is what kind of Paul's saying, and he's trying his best to share that with others. I've become all things to all people, that I might by all means save some. I do it all for the sake of the gospel, meaning good news, so that I might share in its blessings. Do you not know that in a race the runners all compete, but only one receives the prize? Run in such a way that you may win it. Athletes exercise self-control in all things. This is why I'm not an athlete. Bring on the cakes. They do it to receive a perishable wreath, but we have an imperishable one. So I do not run aimlessly, nor do I box as though beating the air. I punish my body and enslave it, so that the proclaiming to others on myself should not be disqualified. So that's not about self-flagellation or self-hatred or self-harm. I think it's Paul using this analogy of running a race, and so if the race is to live, I suppose philosophically might be described as a good life, and for Paul it's about following the teaching of Jesus and of loving others, and being willing to lay down your life for that. So really dedicating yourself to that as your kind of the reason you live and breathe and eat and sleep and all those things, and so that obviously can take a toll, as it did for Mr. Wesley and people who literally travelled around on a horse, whichever way he rode it. But that absolute commitment, determination and focus. So yeah, I think so. An encouragement to this Christian community in Corinth, to say, actually, this is for all people, whether you are someone who's always had a faith, whether you are someone who is so low in terms of the way the world sees you, or society and class or economic situation, all of those things. It's the point in those days where you were a slave, you were not a human, you were a possession. But actually, this is everybody, and that Paul is saying, I am willing to be like a slave, so to give up my freedom and all the things I could do and all the ways that I could earn a living and do this and do that. I believe to focus solely on sharing this good news that I've encountered with and through Jesus, so others might have that experience too of forgiveness, of life. So I hope that's makes some sense. I'd love to know what you think, and so let's share some thoughts. Thank you. Cheers, Paul. Christ healed the ear of the soldier who seized him in the garden. Yeah, when he was betrayed, he forgave those who nailed him to the cross. He forgave the thief that was crucified with him, who never went to church or read the Bible. Yes, he loves you as you are. You are enough. Know that he loves you just as you are. Lay your burdens down at his feet. You are precious to him all the time. Amen. That's awesome. And Sunday's sermon again. Thank you, mate. Oh, there you are. I need a higher chair. That's cool. Oh, look at this, Isabel. There we go. You've offered your house as a place to meet, just like the early church then, because they hung around where people were. They met in each other's houses. They shared stuff together, and yeah, sacrificially, but also communally. And yeah, so you've been informed. No merge with another church, no other possibility of renting premises. You've promised Yorkshire Tea not to blast them with priests. What, start with witch hazel and work up? Yeah, break them in gently. Good plan. But that's cool. I mean, but who knows? To quote Pantocrator, from my ashes like a phoenix, I will rise. That is Easter Sunday. That is resurrection. That is, the hope, the possibility, the glimmer, no matter how fragile, of something continuing, albeit in a different, transformed way, but of life and of hope and of being together and of support and encouragement. This is gospel stuff. This is exciting stuff. This is, yeah. So, the Church of Isabel. That'd be awesome. But yeah, no, you're amazing. Bless you for doing that. Yeah, and where two or three are gathered, right? So, oh dear. A bit of cat saving news. Oh, hope he's all right. I don't know where mine's gone. If you hear me shriek, he's back. Ow. So I don't know what those words mean to you, but if you are trying your best to care for others, to share any sense of faith that you have or hope or whatever it is with others, and sometimes that can, not be popular, not be something that people value, or well, why are you doing that when you could be earning whatever money or doing this or whatever it is. Just know that you are seen, and those amazing little things of fellowship, of hospitality, of welcome, of inclusion, and of care, and of letting people know that they are, as we each are, as Paul has said, absolutely more than enough. For that, I believe Jesus did all that stuff on the cross for you, just as you are, because you're you. Just be encouraged, and thank you for being you and making the world a better place, and bit by bit, heaven on earth for everyone. So, hello, Patrick. So I probably do need to go and respond to this call, as I suspect it's somebody with some sad news. So just invite us to share anything that we want to bring as and for prayer. So I would like to pray for my friend and my colleague Muriel after an accident, and for her friend who is with her. Just the impact of being there for somebody else and doing your best to love and care for others. So pray for them. Pray for anybody who's gathering tomorrow night at Paradise Square, where the grass is green and the plaque is blue, for where John Wesley preached. Just pray for those who are in hospital, those caring for people who were in hospital who have now ended up in hospital themselves, those who are grieving, whether it's funerals and bereavement, whether it's the loss of places of significance, but pray too for hope of what might be, a sense of what might be. And again, it's Easter Day. It's the divine, it's God, the other, in whom even the utter finality of execution on a horrendous implement of torture like the cross, even then, there is Easter Day, there is Easter Sunday. So even when hope is gone and literally dead, then there is still hope. So let's bring these things as and for prayer as we share, and make our offering to the Hall Parent. That's not the Hall Parent, the parent of halls, which would be a bigger hall, but the All Parent, yes.
To the one in whom all people and all creation have their being, may your kingdom come, your will be done, as above, so below. Sustain us for this day. Show us grace as we seek to show grace to those we feel have wronged us. Save us from the worst that is within us and within this world. For the kingdom, the power, and the glory are yours, now and forever. Amen.
Sorry, I pressed the wrong button. Oh dear. Press that knob on your side. I haven't got a knob on my side. I think that's a goon joke. Put the kettle on. It won't fit. Cracks me up every time. So just going back to Tom's comment, don't really share your beliefs with anyone until they ask you. I don't believe in proselytizing. No, totally. That's cool. I think I've said it before. Francis of Assisi, share the good news, share good news, be good news, and use words if you have to. I think I was chatting with somebody else this week, and you're kind of working with people, being upfront about who you are. This is somebody working for an organization saying, well, we're doing this, but why are you doing that? Well, because we're a kind of Christian organization, and that's it. But equally, I've got friends who, similarly, intentionally do not share their faith unless asked, in the hope that then there's some integrity being demonstrated in terms of how this person sought to live, and that in itself raises the questions, I guess. I think that's absolutely. I think, I think part of this is it's permission giving, and it's almost something to hide behind, because it allows you to have those conversations. Because I'm not sure I'm always really comfortable having those conversations unless they are initiated kind of naturally out of, for whatever reason, and by the other person, I guess. Others will kind of probably strongly disagree with that, and that's totally cool. But hence the priesthood of all believers, that we are enough, as Paul has said, and we offer who we are and what we are and how we are and all our skills and gifts, and they're different, and that's cool, and therefore together we are greater than the sum of our parts. Such is what I think, on a good day, the body of Christ, aka the church, is. And that doesn't mean it has to be two buildings, let alone buildings called churches. So it's the out and about conversations, helping hands, opening houses, being there. It's all that stuff, man. There's not wrong with liberal, my friend. There's not wrong with liberal. It's and I think for me, the bit that where the light came on for me in terms of evangelical and evangelism was hearing somebody talk about the meaning of the word, that it's where we get the word angel, so a messenger, and so be a messenger, someone who carries good news. And gospel isn't a sort of uniquely Christian word; it just literally means good news. So if the Roman emperor had an offspring or whatever, someone would arrive, a herald, sharing the good news, whether you thought it was good news or not. Hurrah! Great, another tyrannical overlord. Whoop. But yeah, so I kind of think it's like, to share the good news is about how might each of us in our own way be an angel to somebody else today, whether it's a phone call, whether it's someone's on your mind and you drop them a text, whether it's somebody is in the road or has an accident and you really take your jumper off and jump the canal to rescue them, in such ways have we entertained angels. And so, it's about good news as here's a blanket because you didn't get into the night shelter. Here's some food and drink because you sat on the street. I'll sit down with you. It's all those things. And that is evangelical too, because it is about being an angel and sharing good news in a real way with people. So, with Isabel, I'll just pray for Sue's family. That's beautiful. Living on a Prayer was played. Yeah, I bet she is, man. That's awesome. And one day, in ways that I do not understand and that I don't need to understand, there will be a never-ending gig that's like Vakken on just the most immense scale, and everyone's favourite band will play, and they'll play all of their favourite songs. And there'll be also many, many other activities for people who don't like metal. But we'll all be together and it won't matter. And none of this stuff that hurts. Not that it doesn't matter. It does matter. But despite and even in and through it all, something beautiful will be. And as it says in Revelation, God's self will wipe every tear from our eyes. And I don't know if anybody's seen somebody shared this a couple of weeks ago of an AI thing of Pope Francis kind of rocking out with Jesus in heaven, and as it goes up here, so Jesus is showing Pope Francis how to turn the water into wine and go, you got it. But I just think, that's would be, we find out our real name, the name that only God knows. We are made whole in ways we can't imagine. And I just think, until then, she's there. The rest of us, I guess, are halfway there. So we'll keep living on a prayer, right? We'll keep the faith. How many other Bon Jovi lyrics can I get in here? Work for the working man. Yes, damn right. And working woman. So, dude. Hey, Eric, my friend. Thank you. Hope you're okay. And thanks for being with us. And so the notices. Did I say notices before? Did anyone notice the notices? No. Right. So I think the notices are scrolling across your screen. Yeah, how 21st century is that? I probably put them wrong. So tomorrow night, let's do them in order. So tomorrow night, 7:00, Paradise Square. Take me down to Paradise Square, So if you know Sheffield City Hall, the place where many of us have been to gigs and then suffered hearing damage afterwards, then it's outside the doors to that. And around there is a blue plaque where John Wesley, one of the founders of the Methodist movement, in part of the Great Awakening and Revival of the 18th century, which impacted both here and also in the USA. Just going to mark that tomorrow, and then anybody who wants to can go to Yorkshireman and rock out to the sounds of A Up Maiden. And the week after that, on the Saturday, is Cliff Fest. So those who don't know, Cliff College is a kind of theological, Christian, missional, evangelism training place in the Peak District in the UK, and they have a festival every year to coincide with Pentecost, and it's kind of teaching and worship, and we will be there on the Orchard stage, which is in the trees away from everybody else. So don't disturb people. We've got half an hour. I think I completely misread it. I think it's one. I think it's one till 1:30. I think, but I've somehow read it as 5 o'clock. I don't know what I did. I'm so sorry. But yeah, basically after Saturday afternoon on the Orchard stage, and music should be played. Headbanging shall be done. Failing that, feel free to adopt the universal body language of anybody watching a support band anywhere in the world, and just sit and do that. If you need to throw things, if it's terrible, feel free to throw bottles. Just don't wee in them first. Yes, we all remember that Metallica gig. And so be great if you're around. I know one or two are to catch up, and we shall go and have a cup of tea, Yorkshire tea. It better be Yorkshire tea afterwards, and that'll be cool. So yeah, some chances to meet together. And then in June, our third Saturday of the month kind of get together will be here in Dronfield, and at St Paul's in Dronfield. So I think I was probably thinking about 3 o'clocker again, because the football season's over. Notts County, based on last week, will have failed to get promoted, so that won't matter. And so yeah, if that's helpful, kind of a 3 o'clock one, just to gather and share in June. But yeah, so thank you all. And yeah, just thank you for being you wherever you are in the world, and thank you for sharing the stuff that makes you you, whether it's geeking out, whether it's reading, whether it's metal, whether it's other forms of music. Just being you, and bit by bit encouraging others, letting them know that they are known and seen and loved and accepted and included, and yeah, it transforms the world in ways we will only see looking back, right? So thank you, everybody. And so in anticipation of tomorrow night and A Up Maiden, while we're not going to scream, I invite you, ladies and gentlemen, particularly if you are in public, to get your phone out, put the torch on, wave it around on your own like an absolute whatever, just kind of go for it. Be like, what are you doing? Well, my friend, I'm swaying, because that's what metal Methodists do at the end of their gatherings. Sort of weird way that was inspired by Bruce Dickinson screaming. But anyway, so are we ready? So good job I'm wearing wellies. Anyway, sway with me, Metal Compline. Sway with me, Metal Comp.